Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris and today we're going to be doing a city overview for August 2024. So let's get started. So a lot's happened in the city since the last time we did a video, but I'm going to pin the July 2024 city overview in the top right for you so you guys can watch that and compare it to this video. So we're going to get started in this corner and kind of go around the rest of the city. And these three buildings have not changed except for the fact that I put them on foundations here, and so now they are at the proper height for my Mills plated roads, which I still don't have in yet for this, but eventually I will have a road here and that will all be good to go. And over here I Mills plated this fountain here and it's at the proper height, and I also added in a bunch of nature and greenery and also some dirt between the railroad tracks as well as this fountain here. And this area is not done yet, but it is pretty much close to completion. The only real changes that I would want to make are to add a fence back here to separate the backs of the buildings here from the train tracks themselves, as well as this corner of the base plate here is very bland and open, so I would want to figure out something to add here to make it more interesting. Maybe more foliage or maybe some rocks and some more dry terrain, like some dirt that doesn't look so good, some dried out grass and things like that. And so moving over from this front corner of the city, we're going to take a look at the museum now. And so I went ahead and I finished all the tiling in the most recent video. So if you guys have not seen that yet, definitely check that out. But this whole area is pretty much done. In the future, I would love to add in the same black fence that the museum has around these green spaces here, instead of these white picket fences here, but I don't have any extras of those pieces to make those fences in the back there, so the white picket fences are going to stay here for now. But I don't think it looks all that bad. It just looks very residential, I guess is the word. And so yeah, it does give a kind of backyard vibe to it, but I do think it still looks pretty good. And I also went in and I added a tile design down the middle of this pathway here leading up to the museum, and I think this looks pretty good. I am 2 tiles short for that one at the end there, but I think that looks pretty good. It is a lot of gray, unfortunately, so maybe I would have to find if they make these pieces in different colors, like maybe a dark tan or some other color like that. So maybe this area can have some more color to it instead of just gray and green. And so next in the museum, we have the median as well as the row of modulars down this main street here. And these buildings have not changed at all. The Palace Cinema, the Detective's Office, Assembly Square, the Pet Shop, and the Brick Bank down at the end. This has not changed since the very beginning, and I do really like this and how it all comes together. And I have this median up at the front here, and I really like this. I made these custom trees, which I'm going to pin that video in the top right for you if you guys want to check out how to make it. It's a free tutorial, and I give you guys a step-by-step process on how to make them, as well as how I place them in the city and a bunch of the foliage down here as well. Next, we're on the side of the museum now, and as you guys can see, I extended that black fence around the museum that was originally part of the set, but that ended here, so I made sure to extend that around to complete the whole look. And here is a fountain and a nice little coffee cart that came with the boutique hotel set. And across from both of these is the farm. Now, the farm currently consists of a wheat field, a bunch of foliage, a cabin, as well as where a water feature will end up being. And I do really like all this. I think I mentioned it in a previous video that I was thinking about having some crop fields here, like maybe some rows of crops of, I don't know, maybe carrots or something like that, just to kind of give a little bit of differentiation here, so it's not all just foliage and then like this small portion here is the wheat field itself. And so I might tear out some of this, but I'm not totally sure about it yet, but it does look really good. If you come down to this lower angle here, I think this looks great. And so now coming over here, as you guys can see, this is where the lake is going to be. And this is where the bridge is going to be as well. I just have to make a incline from the normal pen lug standard height of track all the way up to this height here, which is about a brick of height difference here. And then so it would go through the train tunnel here and then down around this curve and then down that decline there. And so this is where the inside of the mountain will be. And so all of these slopes will kind of come up like this here. And I did start on the train tunnel on that end just because it's a straight track and it's much easier to do than one on a curve right here. But I will work on this in the near future, so definitely stay tuned for that. But over here is the log cabin that I recently placed next to the lake here, as well as kind of close to the wheat field. And I did mention in a previous video that I was going to modify this or create a totally custom one, but I made it modular so I could just take the cabin off of these plates here and just add in whatever I want as long as it's the same size, and it just sits on the tiles like that there, and it's at this nice angle here, so it looks good and it's visually interesting, so everything's not on a grid. And I think that looks a lot better than just having something else there. So whenever I get the chance to put something custom in, I can't wait to see how that looks. Now coming over to the other side of the farm here, I also recently worked in this area here. I added a kind of stone wall in this dark tan color here, and as well as these dark green round plates. I couldn't find any in dark tan, unfortunately, so the dark green is just gonna have to stay for now, just to add some stability to it. But this guy is currently building it, and there's a little bird here, and there's some flowers, and the train tunnel itself. Now, I think this area actually looks really good. It turned out a lot better than I thought it would, so I'm very happy with that. But yeah, it's obviously still a work in progress. The foliage isn't done. The wall is obviously not done, and this area up top here also needs to have some work done to it. I wasn't totally sure about this area here, whether I wanted to have two shield tiles, like one on top of the other, kind of like that there, or if I wanted to just leave it as is like this. Now this street has pretty much remained the same. I have not done a whole lot of work in this area, but on the other side of the street is where some progress has been made. So this street here has not changed, like I mentioned. The same buildings are here, and this spot here is still open, as well as the half base plate between the bookshop and the Sanctum Sanctorum is still open. And this intersection still needs work. I haven't really worked on this area a whole lot recently. I've been focusing on other areas of the city, but I hope within the next month or so, I get some time to work back here and also start creating some mini modulars and hopefully get a feel for what these are going to look like. And pretty much the rest of this street here has remained the same. I have not worked on this area on the right here, nor the mini modulars on the left. And so this area remains pretty open, but once I get to start building mini modulars, as well as hopefully some custom buildings, full-size modulars on the right as well, hopefully that will look really good. And over here is where the road is going to be. I need more road plates. And so there's going to be a T intersection here, and I still have to move this train track down. I still have to add in this segment here and then have the curve come down to meet this train track here, and then over here is where the train station is going to be. So my custom pizza shop and townhouse has not moved. It has remained here next to the Palace Cinema, right at the front of the city, and I do actually quite like it here. I think it looks pretty good for now. Maybe I'll move it, but for now I quite like where it is, so it's going to stay here. And right here is where the train station is going to go. I've talked about this a lot in the videos regarding the train station rebuild, so if you guys have not checked that out yet, I will put the playlist in the top right for you. But basically, the gist of it is that this area is going to be green space here, whether it's just benches and a couple trash cans, or I put like a food vendor here. I haven't totally decided, but this gray surface right here, this gray Mills plate from this corner all the way down to here is where the actual building of the train station is going to be. And the platform is going to extend from here all the way down pretty much until there. And then hopefully all of this area over here gets to be green space, and I get to add some foliage and a bunch of other things that I haven't totally decided yet because there's no Mills plate, there's no greenery, and so I'm not really worried about what that's going to be yet because I have a lot of time to figure that out. And like I mentioned in a previous video, This is the main line now. Before it used to be on the inside and then it switched over, or excuse me, it used to switch in and then go over. And so now it just runs the full length of the edge of the table here. And this switch coming out that's hanging off the edge of the table here will eventually have an extension table that sits underneath this, and it will extend probably about 40 inches that way and about 70 inches that way. So from that corner right there, it will come all the way out to about here, I want to say. Is one of either this track segment or the end of this one. And so I get to have a siding here that will fit the Horizon Express and a train station platform like this here that I've shown in that train station rebuild series. And so, yeah, this will service the both lines, and hopefully it will look really good. That's pretty much where the city currently stands. There's a lot of work to do, obviously, but I have made a lot of progress in the last month, and especially since I've started this channel. And so I just wanted to take the time to say thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys for allowing me to hit 500 subscribers recently. That was really awesome. I never thought that would happen. So seriously, thank you guys for watching these videos, for liking and commenting, and just interacting with the channel as a whole. That really means a lot to me. And if you guys like the city and you like the video, make sure to like it and subscribe, as well as click the bell notifications so you don't miss any future uploads. If you guys have any feedback for me on anything that I talked about today, as well as anything that you want me to do in the city, like a custom creation or type of building, anything like that, make sure to drop a comment down below with your suggestions. And once again, thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.